I'm proud to say that this government in power now started this project in 2014.
That's Dr. John Kayode Fayemi.
Precisely.
Yes, sir.
He had the concept of the project, got the loan, and started the project in 2014 before power changed hand. And since then, we have not been able to do much until he came back again. You know, he was the one who brought the energy back into the project. And since his return, we have accelerated the project very well.
Well, my name is Engineer Olumide Ajayi. I'm the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Infrastructure and Public Utilities, the agent of government currently driving the reform process in the water sector. Prior to this time, drinking water, as in piped water, has not been readily available to a very high percentage of citizenry, which we put to close to 90% of the people before the advent of this administration. However, during the JKF1, there was a plan to reform the sector. Now, the reform started, and we are at the investment stage. What I mean by investment is that we are rehabilitating the existing infrastructure, mainly Ero Water Dam, Uruge Water Dam, and Ebe Water Dam. And when this project will be finished, concluded, about 85% of people will be able to have access to it if there is enough distribution network to support the supply. However, there is need for a change. Like I said, there's a reform, and what we are talking about is a reform investment. So reform in the infrastructure maintenance, infrastructure status, and most importantly, consumer behaviors will have to change. That we have to see water as economic resources. Economic resources is the direction that government has used it, and people have seen it in the last years as social resource. Now that we are now investing, government is investing so much into it. It brings about the issue of sustainability. Sustainability, that government will not need this kind of money again at the life cycle of some of the equipment that are being installed, like pumps, like pipes, like even the treatment plant. When they are aging now, they should be able to generate the cost of replacement itself, not that government will go and shop or source for money all over again. And that's the resource, that's the essence of the reform. And which I feel this is one of the last mile activities of the reform, getting the stakeholders informed that it's going to be new ways moving forward. And let them know that it is important for them to sustain the business so that they have access to drinking water. Yes, clean water. You know that the environment now, there is urbanization everywhere. 20 years ago, the population of Ekiti was not as high as this. It was not even a state. Now that it's a state, a lot of people are coming in. We know, again, with the emerging issues in the world, COVID-19, it places more importance on access to piped water, water where you need it, portable, accessible, where you need it. And it is important you get the stakeholders informed. One, to know the benefit of piped water to them. Two, to know that collectively we have to sustain the infrastructure that government is putting money on it. Those infrastructure were constructed sometimes in the 80s with World Bank Fund. Incidentally, they are being rehabilitated with World Bank Fund. So it is reasonable and important for any group of people to say, how long can we go around a sort of cycle?
And make it work.
So we need to make it work. And next time this equipment will require replacement, it should be fund that is self-generated from the same purpose, so that we can actually expand. And that's what we want to bring to the awareness of the stakeholders across the water sector. Most importantly, the last mile people that will need to drink and use the water.
Well, basically, It's a World Bank supported project. The World Bank came to Nigeria very early in the 2002 or 3 or thereabout. Started the first and the second project, which some states participated in, and figured that we need to move forward from there, and so brought in the idea of reform into the sector. Before now, the bank will come and bring a project, and when they return in another 3-5 years, no sign of the project. So they figure what we need to do is to reform the sector. So this basically has to do with reform. So the main point of this project is to reform the utility that is in charge of the water, and also to reform the way we do business around the sector. So basically, we are coming in to reform how people look at producing and giving people water from the point of view of the SWA, the State Water Agency. And also, in doing this, there is no way you will do reform that you will not give people water to feel a taste of what you are bringing. In this regard, we have decided that it will be nice to rehabilitate all the treatment plants in Ekiti. I'm proud to say that this government in power now started this project in 2014.
That's Dr. John Kayode Fayemi.
Precisely.
Yes, sir.
He had the concept of the project, got the loan, and started the project in 2014 before power changed hand. And since then, we have not been able to do much until he came back again. He was the one who brought the energy back into the project. And since his return, we have accelerated the project very well. The truth about this project is it's an urban reform project, which means it's targeted directly at urban towns or urban. Ado-Ekiti is used as a pilot in this project. So most of the activities that we are doing on this project borders around Ado-Ekiti and the immediate environment in Woroko, Friend Local Government, but they are the immediate neighborhood of Ado-Ekiti that will directly benefit from this project. And what this project is doing is we are rehabilitating all the water system around Ado-Ekiti. That is, the Ureje water scheme will be brought back to its original capacity. Then, because also that Ureje is small in size, cannot feed Ado alone. So we need to import water from outside Ado-Ekiti. That's why we are also working at Ero. Ero is the largest, about the largest capacity scheme in Ekiti as we speak. So we are bringing water from Ero to Ado-Ekiti. But the problem is, over time, the line that convey water from Ero to Ado-Ekiti, especially between Ifaki and Ado, has been severed during construction of roads. So we also need to do these trunk mains. So we are repairing the trunk mains so that by the time Ero is producing at full blast, which I'm sure in a week or two it will start to produce, water can get to Ado-Ekiti. The major issue of the corporation is a capacity issue, which what we did was to do a diagnostics of the utility, and we have seen where the problem lies. And what we are doing now is to make designs of what can be done to make it a best performing utility, which all the designs are on ground, just waiting for final approval. If His Excellency will just clear these designs, then the corporation will be energized to perform better. For example, best performing utilities in the world now must embrace what is called performance contracts. The general manager or the MD will go to the government and say, this is what I will deliver. And there will be a contract around that. And the MD or the GM will also come back to the utility and tell all the directors, this is what you should deliver. And there will be a contract around that, so that people will see it is no more a civil service thing. You cannot deliver water sustainably using the civil service approach. The days of that has gone. Like we are saying in this workshop, it's supposed to be an economic good. You need to give people service and then they pay so that you can sustain your system. And that's where we are now. We want to be, for example, we are in partnership with one of the best performing utilities in Africa, Lusaka Water. They are our partner, and they are, it's like a peer learning. They are training us, teaching us day to day how they have gone through all these places, and they are where they are today. They are making a lot of money, which we figure we can also do in Ekiti, because our size is even, bigger, smaller than their own size, or about the same. So we also figure in Ekiti, if we get it right, then we can do it sustainably.